battle supreme. Follow your destiny in the battle supreme. Fight for your legacy in the battle supreme. Follow your destiny, battle supreme.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Battle Supreme. Thanks for joining us today.
Went a little
and
flat.
Thanks for joining us always. We appreciate it. Make sure to go on your social media, whether it's the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Search up Arbor Creek. Give us a follow. We post podcast content, our music content, all that good stuff on there. And make sure to head over to the arborcreektheband.com website. And you can sign up for our mailing list, and we'll shoot you some emails, send you some free stuff and all the goods. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Al, tell them what we're doing.
Don't forget to like it on YouTube. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing now.
Yeah, and if you're watching, subscribe to the channel.
Take a look, huh?
Sweet. Well, first off, happy Super Bowl week.
Ow, ow!
Yay.
Too bad none of our favorite teams are in it, because they suck.
But it's such a... we said, all of us said, Monday should be an observed holiday because the Super Bowl is a very big day in America.
I
It really
completely
is.
agree with that. I really do think it should just be
It's
a holiday.
nationally recognized.
We should get the day off of work, everyone. You know,
Yeah.
I think it should be. Because, I mean, who's not watching? And a lot of people would like to party harder than they do for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Or they do and they just regret it.
Yeah.
That happens.
Hungover work Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
I feel it, you know.
Well, before giving it away, we did just talk about the Super Bowl. So it is a Super Bowl themed episode. In the music vein still, we are doing a top 5, each of our top 5 Super Bowl halftime show list. Now, this is going to be a really chill episode. We're just going to go with it. We're all going to start from 5 down to 1. And if somebody had it, higher up on their list, they could say why and whatnot like that. It's going to be a super chill, laid-back episode today.
Yes.
So,
I'm excited.
who wants to start at number 5?
I'll start with my number 5.
Sweet.
Is that how we're going to do it?
Yeah, start from 5. So I'm being, I guess, your least favorite, but
So,
your
like,
top 5. You're
let's-
the best one, number 1.
But I'm just saying, so, like, I'm going to say my number 5, and then you guys are going to say your number 5s?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then say if Larry was like, oh, it's number 3 on my list, he'll chime in and say, well, this is why I liked it maybe
Yeah.
more than you did. You know what I mean? So
Right
But
on
we
track.
should keep our, like, other picks. Like, if I say my first one and it's on his list as a different spot, he shouldn't say anything until he gets there, though, right?
well, I was thinking the opposite, but we could keep it that way. We'll keep it a secret.
Yeah. You wanna have the
We
reveal.
do it on the fly here, folks.
Let's get
We're
the ball
making
rolling, huh?
it up as we go along.
All right, well, I'm just going to go first. And my number 5, I have Paul McCartney in 2005.
I mean, you can't go wrong with the man.
Fire.
Yeah. I think it was a great performance. It was just absolutely classic, you know? Just classic. Like, how can you get more perfect than good old Paul playing some tunes, crowd singing along, you know? It's beautiful. Fireworks, all that.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, man, just a man in his band.
Yeah, and it was also at a time in the Super Bowl halftime show era where that was like the first, like, we're going to bring classic rockers into the mix in the 2000s. Because before that was when they were doing all the crazy, like, all these combined stars and all these combined shows.
Yeah.
And then Paul, they would just, like, it was like, all right, now you're just going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it was, like, the perfect way to do it if you're going to just give it to someone, you know?
No, I agree. I mean, he's the man. There's no. I mean, Paul McCartney should be on everyone's list. He's the guy. You know?
Yes.
Sweet. Number 5. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Sweet. Go ahead.
My number 5 pick, I'm just going to go with, it was considered the first, like, actual performance for the Super Bowl because before that, like from the 60s and 70s, like
Marching bands.
there was like marching bands. Like there was like Ella Fitzgerald did one,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't how it is now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Chubby Checker.
Nice.
It's Super Bowl 22.
Very cool.
Yeah. It was in the late 80s. It was like the 80s.
Yeah.
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 They tried. So yeah, playing off of that, I was like when they started experimenting and
Mhm.
getting into like how could we do this halftime show, and then I think it was in '91 they had the New Kids on the Block or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was their first attempt at like, oh, let's like bring in a now
fresh art, yeah.
artist and see what happens, and it like didn't go over well because the way they did it wasn't that good, and they kind of jumped ship until they brought Michael Jackson in. So yeah.
I'll
Sick.
go for 5.
Go ahead.
Madonna.
Oh yeah,
I love Madonna.
she killed it.
Exactly.
I think that
Yeah.
was the most watched.
And she was like, I mean, she was definitely post prime.
50s.
But
What
so
year?
in her
What year was that?
2012.
Yeah,
no,
it's something
12.
like that. It's like 2012
Yeah.
or 11 or something.
But I remember being like, damn, it's Madonna. Like, let's go. Yeah, 2012 with Nicki Minaj and CeeLo Green.
Yeah, I remember that
when,
one.
See me riding around town.
Yeah.
That was that year. That song was all hot.
It
But,
was
uh,
lovely.
But yeah, Madonna, you know what I'm saying? She was just getting with it, you know? So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
I'll put that as my number 5.
Awesome.
Sick.
Good pick.
Did you give us your pick yet?
Nope.
All right, give it to us.
My number 5 is the 1997 one when we got
Okay.
Blues Brothers,
Okay.
James
Sick.
Brown, and ZZ Top. I mean,
That's good.
enough
Can't go
said.
wrong.
I mean, yeah, Blues Brothers, hot, not a real band, but a kind of a real band.
Oh, they're
sick,
real.
sick movie. And they're playing the halftime show. You got James Brown that comes off, and then all of a sudden you hear a little tush. I mean, come on. Now the reason, I put them higher up on the list because it is badass, and I love the combination. And it's just a feel good concert. It's fun because you got the Blues Brothers element in there, but ZZ Top was totally lip syncing.
Yeah, it definitely is the
They
recordings.
pulled the Chili Peppers. That everyone roasted them that year, but I don't know if like anyone in '97 were roasted ZZ Top. But the thing is,
back
they
then I don't think people realized that that was even a possibility yet. That people were doing that.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But what's crazy about it is, well, what Red Hot Chili Peppers did, they came out with a statement and said like they recorded it live, like beforehand, like it wasn't like they played the recording. But ZZ Top, like it was tush off of the studio recording, like straight up, freaking playing legs. She's got a leg, doing the harmonies perfectly. Like, nah, brother, I'm sorry. This is.
It definitely sounds like the recording.
It sounds exactly like they weren't even hiding it, and I started laughing. I was actually like shocked. I never saw that before. Like I looked at a whole list of a bunch of Super Bowls,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This sounds badass. I'm gonna watch this." And I started laughing when they came out. I was like, "It's totally the studio recording, but it's badass." I love ZZ Top, so I ain't talking crap. I get it. It's big production. They don't have time to sound check everybody, so it's all good. Much love.
And James Brown was in that motherfucker.
Dude.
too, bro.
Yeah, he was the highlight of that one for me when I watched it. I thought
Can't
his.
believe- I'm biting myself in the ass for not watching that one.
Oh, that one's great.
Dude, watch
I
it
don't
after
remember
this.
that
It's
one.
sick,
Yeah,
dude.
That's awesome. James Brown.
I was reading that list. I was like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
let's go."
Are you finished?
Yeah, let's just go around the table in the order we've been doing it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to number 4. But before I reveal my number 4, I want to just give my perspective on how I'm looking at all this. So I tried to not go off of just musical bias because it's lame. I don't want to just be like, well, I like this artist, so I'm just gonna pick them. But I really tried to base it off of like the idea that the halftime show performance is supposed to be like a legitimate like grab every person in the
Spectacle.
room's attention,
Yeah.
spectacle, full on show, not just like, you
It's
know,
just like flashy, super flashy.
yeah, what it's supposed to be. It's a short performance. It's not even a full concert. Half the time it's not even full songs. Like it is what it's supposed to be. It's a unique type of performance in a way.
like a
what
medley.
what other situation do people do that except for maybe like an award show or something, right?
Well, yeah, you got like 15 minutes to play your entire catalog that everyone wants to
Yeah.
hear.
To really just absolutely try to kill it and to please everyone in America. Like, that's hard, man. That's crazy.
They get judged so hard for it
Anyway,
by everybody.
for my number 4, I went with Lady Gaga, 2017.
She killed it
Because
She
it was
killed
epic.
It was sick.
She started on top of the stadium
That
with the
weird-ass jump she
drones
does.
behind her, and then she jumped off the stadium and flew down to the stage, and then proceeded to just have complete high energy and amazing vocal performance while performing the entire time, and it was awesome, and she's a great performer. So yeah, I had to give her my number 4 spot because she slayed it, and it was just really, really good. She's got great tunes.
That is fire.
Yeah, I think hers was really good.
Which Super Bowl was that? Who was playing that year?
I don't know. It was 2017. I don't know who played.
That might
Is
have
that
been-
when we went to
might-
Tierra's?
That might have been.
Or-
Yeah, I think
that was the one. Shout out to our old manager at Tierra. Me and Larry used to work
that might have
together
been.
at
It was either
FedEx.
Patriots, Atlanta, or I'm thinking maybe Denver with Peyton Manning. That might have been his last year.
For
Something
some
around
reason,
that
I
time.
feel like we watched it there. The Lady
Yeah.
Gaga one specifically.
Yeah, then that was it. Then it was probably then because that's Tierra's. It was definitely Atlanta. That was when they blew it to Tom Brady.
Well, shout out.
Shout out to Tom Brady.
He's a boss. All right.
My number 4 pick is Super Bowl 21. It's nothing crazy. I just think it's funny that the Beach Boys played. The Super Bowl was in Pasadena, California, and they played one song, and it was the little old lady from Pasadena. Again, this is 1 year before the top, like the actual performing, like a halftime show started with Chubby Checker. So I just think it's funny. And side note, Neil Diamond sang the Star Spangled Banner.
Really?
Sick.
You know who won that year? The Super Bowl?
No idea.
Oh.
We're not doing winners, Larry. We're doing halftime shows.
I'm just asking if you knew. You didn't. It's all right.
I'll tell you who didn't win. The Bears.
Hey, you know. So now it's me. I'll go with number 4, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Dude, yes.
For just like playing a straight set. It was just them, just straight, full songs. They did a few songs, and that was it. And they killed the whole thing. And everyone was singing all their songs, Free Fallin'. I mean, come on,
How can you not?
breaking out. You know what I'm saying? You're on the field, you're singing Free Fallin'. Like, think about that feeling. You know.
Who won that year?
Ooh, let's see. 2008. That might have been Giants.
It's either another team or the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
Really,
was Giants.
really for most of these.
For most of the 2000s. Yeah, I think Tom Petty, he might have been, like, as far as the rock acts go, like, Paul McCartney, Tom Petty, probably my favorite two of all of them, like, for their actual performance. And
Yeah,
I think they were killing.
for sure.
Sick. Well, my number 4. Come in the following year. We're throwing it back to 98
Oh.
for the 40th anniversary of Motown Records. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
That is so sick.
That one was very cool.
I mean, David went down the route that maybe perhaps all of us should have went, but I love Motown, and I'm being a little biased here. I saw that, and I was like, dude.
Hey, it's
That's
fine
so
to
awesome.
have different perspectives.
Smokey
Yeah,
I went,
And then the
I
modern
went the way I wanted to because I
wait till
felt
my next
it
pick.
was needed.
the modern Motown artist at the time was Boyz II Men. They had Boyz II Men playing,
Yeah.
and it was sick.
Yeah, it was.
They
it
played
was
all the
awesome.
classes. They got Queen Latifah there. I mean,
The Queen.
the Queen. Enough said.
My only thing about it,
Smokey Robinson.
I was gonna name that in my honorable mentions after,
Hotter than a candle.
but it didn't make my list
Dude, it's
because
sick.
it just wasn't very high energy, and that's what I think of when I think of
No,
like a halftime
I
show.
can see it.
But it was great, and there were some weird singing moments in it that I don't need to get into, but there were some weird spots in there that I was like, oh, sounds a little funky.
Yeah, people
it's
get
funky,
people
baby.
people
Yeah.
people getting old.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is.
But it was good. Just I think personally, it's just a little slow for me for a halftime show, but great.
That's why it's higher up on my list. I got some more fire to come.
Oh yeah.
I 3.
Pick
Number three.
Number 3.
All right. Well,
number 3, my lord.
my number 3 is gonna be Beyonce,
Ooh.
2013.
Fire, dude.
because she absolutely slayed the halftime show.
She blew the power out.
She did, and it was
Wasn't Kendrick Lamar there too?
she had a few people I don't remember who. Destiny's Child popped out.
Oh shit!
They came up from under the stage. I remember
Throwback.
that.
Yeah, it's Beyonce and Destiny's Child.
Yeah,
It was a year after Madonna.
yeah, and then Beyonce performed another year where she was like a guest for someone else after that. I think it was the year Coldplay did it.
Yes.
Mm.
I think
Coldplay
it was earlier.
like kicked it off, and then there's like Beyonce and Bruno Mars, and like no one remembered that Coldplay even did it.
Oh, it was later. Yeah, it was 2016.
They got outshined. But yeah, I think Beyonce slayed, and there's a lot of Beyonce haters out there because I could see why people say like she's overrated because like she's like considered like the queen of like, you know,
R&B.
her thing, but like
Fuck that, bro.
but the thing is like
She sang Halo.
when you really get down to it and you watch her performances, like what other female star sings as good as she does, dances as good as she does, commands a crowd as good as she does? I can't think of one who does it as better than her. I really don't.
I mean, she could do it all.
That's
She's
what
great.
I'm saying. She's so rounded in all of the aspects. She might not be the best at every single one individually, but when you put it all together, like I don't think anyone comes close right now to her. I mean, especially at that time. So that's why I put her in number
Definitely
3.
on the Mount Rushmore of female icons,
Yeah,
along with Madonna.
indeed.
Mm.
But that's my number 3.
Frankie.
Number 3.
My number 3 pick is going to be Super Bowl 25. It is my pick because it is 2 days after I was born, and it is Gloria Estefan.
Oh yeah.
Fire performance.
Yeah, I actually watched.
remember that?
one.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
No,
48
but
hours old. Oh, dude, it was sick.
I got taken home from the hospital on Super Bowl Sunday, and my aunt Carol, put money on a Super Bowl square for me, and I won $500
See?
as an infant child.
That's amazing. What a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good performance. I watched that one, and it actually was surprisingly fire. I didn't think it was going to be.
Yeah.
I'll
Larry?
go. I'm going to go with, I believe it was 93, Michael Jackson.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, Heal the World, Michael Jackson performance. I really liked it. It was high energy. The ending was the weakest link in the whole show because it was a bunch of people like swaying back and forth, like, you know, it could have been like with lighters type thing. And it was like I don't know, I feel like it killed the energy. They maybe should have started with that.
They were doing We Are the World.
Yeah, I know, understand that. It's a great song, yada yada.
They
But
should have ended with Black and White.
yeah, bro.
Or-
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
He started with Jam because that was one of the songs he was releasing that year.
yeah, and it was fire.
It's still fire, but yeah.
To put you back in the time, there was also a lot of shit going on in L.A. at the time. I think that's where they were, and
Could be, yeah.
that's why they
The
went
Rodney
that,
King
that's,
beating.
That's why they went
Yeah.
that
And all the
direction.
for
riots.
sure.
All the riots.
Because it was relevancy
Yeah.
to like have that feel good type
No,
of
I
thing.
get
you
that.
know?
I get that. I mean, it was
But
definitely what it was about.
I agree with your point on that because
Yeah.
there's quite a few Super Bowls where they end on like the ballad,
yeah, like the soft note.
and
yeah.
I feel like it's a weird thing personally, but maybe that's because we're rock people, and maybe
Well,
that's
it's like
what
it's the
we're
Super-
used
it's
to,
the
like you
Super
know.
Bowl, you know. But like
Yeah.
one of the things I loved about that show was just like the silence, like how like he was just on stage not doing
For
anything
2 minutes.
Yeah,
dude.
and the audience was just going nuts.
Yeah, he just stood there.
forever,
Jackson,
and he
bro.
just stood there, and I was just like, yeah, man, it's him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So yeah, that'd be my number 3.
lovely.
Sick.
What do you got, Al?
I mean, it was already spoken of, but my number 3 is Paul McCartney. Because he's the guy. He played a good set list. Wasn't anything, you know, crazy fancy. It was just a guy in his band. But, I mean, he ended the night with Hey Jude. Everyone's singing along. Talk about a feel-good. We were talking about leaving people on a feel-good for the last
Yeah,
song of the
true.
Super Bowl. I mean,
Paul McCartney
true.
played 2 Super Bowls, but one was like in the early 2000s, and he played all Beatles songs.
yeah. Wait, which one was that?
I'm pretty sure he only played one.
I thought he only played one. This is
He had his own
05.
Super Bowl
His own
halftime
Super
show.
Bowl. That's the one we're talking about. He did his own music.
Is that the one you're talking about?
No,
He
Because
did.
this one he plays like
did
Live
Live
and
and
Let
Let
Die and stuff.
Die.
It wasn't all Beatles for
Yeah.
sure.
Let me see.
It was 2005.
Paul McCartney, 2005. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know unless I miss something.
Yeah, unless I missed something. I don't know either. I just know for sure he played in 05.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. There was a list I saw. It only had like 4 Beatles, like "Drive My Car" and
That might have been the only Beatles songs he played.
He
Oh,
did.
maybe.
He did. He
That
did.
would
Play,
make
he did
sense.
play
maybe,
"Drive My
yeah,
Car."
maybe.
That's probably what it was.
But yeah, sick.
All right.
Do, 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 do,
So number 2, right?
Yes.
Well, I had MJ for my number 2, 93, and what we didn't talk about yet is that it's the most important Super Bowl halftime show
I agree.
because that was the first superstar halftime show.
Yes.
Before him, there wasn't stars involved of that level, and that is what led to everything we get today. And I have a little note here. They put the booking rights in '93 into Radio City Productions, and they went out and recruited Michael Jackson. And then I found out from when I was looking into this that they don't pay anybody who performs at the Super Bowl halftime show. I didn't know that.
really.
Everyone does it for free. They pay for the production and the travel, but they don't get a paycheck for performing. So every person who does it, like, they don't, you know what I mean? They pay for everything that's there,
They're
and all
taken
the
care
stuff,
of.
but they don't get a paycheck for the performance. So
You get paid in
Interesting.
exposure.
that's literally what they say, yeah. But with the Super Bowl, it's literally the most watched thing in the country, so
But if you're playing the Super Bowl, do you really need the exposure anymore at that point?
No, I agree. I was literally about to say that.
They're like, hey, you can play the Super Bowl
What?
halftime show, but you got to
It
sell
boosts.
100 tickets.
I'm saying it boosts their sales and their streams. I'm sure are all boosted from it, like
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure.
from that moment. Because even if you're famous, just everyone watching you in that event is gonna make people like, oh, maybe I should
Yeah.
listen to this more.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
I really
gonna-
like that song. I forget about it.
It hit so many people that don't even listen to music at all.
More people tune in
Yeah.
because of Michael
Because of-
Jackson's performance. That was the first time that more people tuned in during the halftime show than not. Because before that, everyone stopped watching.
Yeah.
They changed the channel or they lost viewers. But when they did Michael Jackson, it skyrocketed
There
the
were
viewers.
more people.
And so
Wow.
he's the one who set the trend and set the bar for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Because you get the people who wouldn't watch football
Mm-hmm.
watching that channel.
And that's what they still do now.
Yeah.
Like, think about, like, we're football fans, so we're like, we're going to watch the Super Bowl, but, like, you have a lot of people who are just down for the event, and they're,
Yeah.
like, they want to see the
sure. The
commercials.
The commercials.
They
For
want
the
to see the
holiday.
halftime show. Like, it's a spectacle, the whole thing, you know? So, yeah, it's MJ's kind of the first one.
You know, it's funny, David, you say that.
It
'cause
had to be him.
Yeah.
When I was
It's
going through
MJ.
the list, and reading, you know, whatever, I didn't even bother to do anything before Michael Jackson, just like in my head, without even like saying that. And then you just said that, and I'm like, that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
Like I look at like
really
the list,
was.
it's like, oh, here's Michael Jackson. This is when it gets real.
Yeah, it is
Yeah, like-
exactly. Like, there was some cool random stuff before,
No, yeah, for sure.
but it was nothing like that, you know? And even his performance was, like,
It's fantastic, man.
it was like the style of performance and the big setup and the stage is what inspired like the idea for all of them to be that grand. Like, it's not like he just went up on a plain stage and did the songs. Like, he really put on the show.
It was larger than life.
Yeah, and then he had a whole crew there.
Michael
and
Jackson, you
everything.
know.
Yeah. So yeah, crazy. We can move on.
Sick.
That was 2.
Remember, this is our number 2s now.
Yes.
You're done?
Yes, up to you.
My number 2 is going to be Super Bowl 34. NSYNC, Aerosmith, Backstreet Boys, Nelly, Mary J. Blige.
Woo.
Wow.
All right.
And I'm pretty sure Britney Spears is there too, but maybe didn't get her own song. But
That was
it was 2001.
that
so it
was
like
that era I was talking about
Yeah.
earlier, where it was like jam-packed people era.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Like, is it crazy or is it sane? Or is it insane crazy?
I'm not a huge fan of it, but that's just me, you know. I think to me, when I watched it, I just felt like it was so weird, but maybe that's what makes it good to people. Because, like, Aerosmith to boy band back and forth was just, like, so extreme to me. I was
Yeah.
like, this is such a big leap that it just throws me off. But some people probably love it. So, I mean, I can't hate, you know. But it definitely didn't make my list for that reason.
You good?
I'm done.
I'm gonna go 2004. Janet Jackson, Kid Rock, P. Diddy, Jessica Simpson, Nelly, and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
That's the year that ended that era.
Yeah, yeah, basically. And it got all wild with
the
all that
wardrobe
crazy
malfunction.
shit with,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what ended it.
yes.
That's why they had Paul play the next year.
Really, that's why. I mean, it
Pretty
makes
much.
sense. Yeah.
They were doing that type of show for like at least 4 years straight,
Yeah.
and then that happened, and they were like, well, maybe we should just go the safe route and let's just get
Oh,
like a
for sure.
classic,
One person.
safe, classic artist that's not
Yeah.
nothing bad's gonna happen.
But I remember that year, I was in 3rd grade. My teacher was Miss Schneider. And I remember talking with all, like, my friends and shit, like, oh, my God, like, did you see the halftime show because of what happened with Justin Timberlake? It was, like, in the last second, you know what I'm saying? And
Oh yeah,
it was wild.
it was wild.
Out of pocket, you could say. But
And Kid Rock went crazy.
but
on
then
that.
it's like, dude, Kid Rock. That's what I'm saying. Like, it just hit so many angles. Like, Nelly, P. Diddy going, and then boom, Kid Rock. Like, he just comes up. He's got the cowboy
He was wearing-
jacket
he
on
wa-
and
he-
the American flag.
yeah, he
like,
wore an
shirt.
American flag
It was insane.
as his shirt, basically. Wild and.
And then Janet Jackson comes up, kills it. Justin Timberlake kills it. It was just fire. And then, yeah, I just remember that I was in my Uncle Frank's basement. We were all watching it every year. We would go over there. And that's my pick.
Awesome.
Sick.
A big A.
Sick pick.
Number 2. Throwing it back to 2022.
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Dre, Snoop Dogg,
Fire.
Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent. I mean, dude, it was sick.
It was a good one.
It was, dude, it was a super group.
Yeah.
It was a bona fide super group.
It was long overdue.
It was.
It was the only time they ever had like real hip hop artists.
And it was in L.A.
Yeah, it was long.
Yeah,
overdue.
it was just perfect. Yeah, and it was long overdue, and like everybody like every time another person came out, it was just like, oh shit, oh
Yeah.
shit, oh shit. Like it was just badass.
It was super sick.
That
Yeah,
was fire, yeah.
I remember when they announced it, like that was, I don't know, dude. Like sometimes I don't get excited all the time for Super Bowl halftime shows because
Yeah.
I don't know, I have a certain taste. But like I remember that was the first time where I was really like excited, like in a long time. I was like, I'm so ready for this.
I think we all were hyped. We were
Yeah,
all,
all
like,
of
dude,
us,
this
our
is
whole
actually
friend
gonna
group were
be.
hyped.
This is gonna be something we're really gonna enjoy. You know.
I like stuff that goes hard. You know,
Yeah, it was good. It's really good.
sweet.
All right,
So we're doing the number 1.
the number one.
Larry, can we
Prick.
get a horn or something before he gives us number 1? Someone was flat.
It was.
I
it
was,
wasn't me.
I was,
I know, I'm
I was
just
doing
fucking
it on
around.
purpose.
It's my horn. I'm never flat.
So, I think this is ridiculously easy,
I think we all have the same one.
and I think if you don't have this, that you're just wrong. To be honest with you. But obviously, my number one pick is to be Prince. It was the best halftime show.
Was that a round table?
Is this a round table?
It's a round table.
Come on.
Oh,
There's
Prince-
no way nobody wasn't gonna say it at least in the top 5. And
Prince-
Nobody said it, so it had to be one.
Of course.
Dude, we talked about this a while ago when we decided we were going to do this podcast. It's like, compared to everybody else, he just absolutely nailed the idea of what you're supposed to be doing. It's like he came out, he just absolutely killed it the entire time, but like he played the right covers, he played the right material of his own music, the right mix, and it was just so sick, and he just shreds like everything about it was just literally amazing.
And the lore behind it of like it almost not even happening because it was
Yeah.
raining, and then like right before it was about to start, like the rain stopped, and they were like, "All right, show's on, go,
Yeah.
go, go, go."
Dude, and playing Purple Rain
Yeah.
in the rain. Dude, it like
Perfect.
the whole
And the big drape was
visual,
up, and like he
dude.
was like gigantic because of his shadow.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Round table.
Literally the best one, hands down.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Well, yeah, you said like it hasn't been said yet, and then there's only one more to go. So it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Dude, he shreds so hard too.
What would you have done if someone messed up this round table? Would that guy be getting fried right now?
Probably.
Kicked out of the band, dude.
That's why it didn't happen. You know,
The chemistry is
I love when he
uncanny.
whips out the Strat, dude.
Yeah.
I love
He's
when he
play-
whips it
it's
out
like,
too.
It's like you know what I'm talking
Playing
about.
Hendrix, bro.
Yeah, it's like playing Hendrix, and then he's doing Foo Fighters, and it's like
That's what I mean.
I don't know, it's awesome. I love this. The tone of the guitar. Is
He
so
just
good.
completely brought it, and this is the most entertaining, like perfect performance.
It's actually crazy when you think about it when he played Best of You, because like the covers he did were all classic, but that one at the time it was new. It was a new song. It wasn't like that old. It was like what, a year old.
Yeah.
It was like fairly recent. So I thought that's like pretty like crazy. Like he's just playing this like new song that came out, and also I mean we talked about it. I was like, I wonder what it feels like to have Prince call you like, hey, can I play this?
Yeah.
One of the Foo Fighters going to get a halftime show.
So I'm
Yeah.
glad you just said that
Petition, dude.
because I researched it. I researched.
They don't
it.
want to do it.
No, this is what happened. He in an interview talked about it. Someone asked him how come you guys haven't done it yet, or are you gonna do it? And so essentially, this is the gist of it. He said both sides have never been down at the same time. Essentially, where like he said that they were always like willing, but anytime it came up, or they've been asked essentially, and they would be like, hey, like, we're considering having like a rock band. Would you guys be down? And he was like, yeah, we would be down. And then they would just pick Beyonce. And like he would just find out when he found out like that she's doing it. And they just never got chosen. But then after years of that kind of happening, he said he was drunk and in France, and he met somebody who was part of the Super Bowl halftime people who like do that. And he was like drunk. He was like, honestly, at this point, I don't even want to do it anymore. And then so now he says they'll probably never do it because he said he didn't want to do it to one of the guys. And so he's like, yeah, so we're probably just never going to do it because they probably think I don't want to do it anymore. So yeah,
That's
pretty
funny.
that's pretty much their story of it.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Exactly.
Yeah.
dude.
I had to research it because
Hard road.
we had talked about it before, and I was like, you know what, I got to
Be
find
epic.
out. I'm gonna find out what really happened with that because they would be the best modern band to do it.
And the big enough to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
they're already like
There's a
closer
lot
to
of rock
30 years
bands,
old.
but they're not.
Yeah, but they're still active.
Yeah, no,
you
for
know?
sure.
I mean, what if Metallica played the Super Bowl?
That would be cool, but they're a metal band, you know.
I think I could see
It's
them
not a rock
sitting in
band.
for a song.
Yeah.
Like, I could see them
Yeah.
being featured on someone's set one of these years.
100%.
Metallica is still like a household name, though,
Oh yeah.
especially in this past year.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're huge. That would definitely be something. I just don't know if they would go that direction.
Yeah,
You
I
know
mean,
what I
maybe,
mean? But we will see. I guess time will tell.
I don't think Lars would be able to keep up with the pre-recorded stuff. You know what I mean?
Probably not.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
stuff.
Well, I have some ones that I just wanted to talk about
Sweet, go ahead.
that didn't make my list. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. First one I wanted to bring up is Bruno Mars, 2016, I think, or maybe it was a
Epic.
different year. But he killed it. My thing is he didn't make my top because honestly, at the time, it was too early. I think he's like the one person that got the gig too early in his career. Like he didn't have the, Uptown Funk and 24 karat magic. He didn't have that, wasn't out yet. And that's like the biggest thing in his whole career.
That's crazy.
So it's
to
like when you
about.
think about it, he really just got the gig too early, and I don't think he was like fully realized yet, and like how he is now, and with like Silk Sonic. Like imagine if he were to do it in a few more years, it would probably be so much better than the one he did. He has so much more material to work with.
Yep.
He's just a better artist and performer now. He's aged like really, really well. So he didn't make my list because it wasn't that good, but it was good. But I think it would be even better if he gets another chance.
He's like one of the.
Because
Has anyone got asked back?
well, he did perform that year with Coldplay,
Oh
where
yeah.
he came out and did Uptown Funk or whatever. But like
Oh.
it was just like a guest appearance. But I still think he deserves a whole show, especially if he drops another fire album, the way he does. That I definitely think he
Still
deserves.
Sonic,
it.
man. They should play it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He could literally do that as a whole section of the show. Like
Yep.
it's like people would eat it up.
With Bootsy Collins.
Yeah, dude.
I'm surprised John Mayer hasn't done one either.
That's another one I was gonna bring up. I was gonna literally say, how has John Mayer not done it? He's so big. Like he's super mainstream. He's all over the board. Like, hello.
He just announced his
Solo tour.
solo tour,
Yeah,
saw
saw
that.
that.
acoustic tour.
That'd be cool. He's really good in that format.
Well, like the Where the Light Is tour. Like
Mhm.
he would start his show
Yeah,
with just a strictly acoustic.
he
Just him
opened for himself.
playing Neon. Yeah, savage.
Yeah, it's sick. Anyway, moving on to some other ones. My honorable mention was also the Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, hip hop extravaganza, because obviously that one was amazing. It just didn't quite crack my top, because I don't know, it just didn't do it for me compared to the other ones. Like as far as just like the high energy spectacle performance, but it was super super good, and definitely deserves to be in the conversation. And on that note, I also feel that any of the Super Bowl halftime shows that are on the West Coast, it's always light outside, and it kind of kills the vibe for me.
Yeah.
Like any of the ones that it's not dark, it's just kind of weird
Mhm.
and not as cool. So
That's definitely not as cool.
that's just like a weird thing, but I feel that way because when I watch them, I'm like, it's not the same as when it's dark and you have the crowd and like
Yeah.
all the lights and then all the colors with the lights. It just doesn't hit the same when it's just like during the sunlight. I feel like their performance would have been more cool if it was like dark, you know.
For sure.
I wanted to give a shout out to the 1994 country extravaganza one with like Travis Tritt and Tanya Tucker, because that was honestly sick. It was after Michael Jackson, and it was a complete curveball and a weird direction. But you got to remember that 90s country is like the golden era of country. And when they did that show, like these people are the OGs that like really inspired the huge country movement that like, made
That
country
became,
what
like,
it is.
mainstream
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah, if it
And-
wasn't for them, they wouldn't be where they are today.
And
for
when you
sure.
listen to it, it was sick because it wasn't like the modern pop country that a lot of people don't like. It was like real country, and it was honestly awesome.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even really know it was a thing until I started looking at all of them, and I listened to it, and I was like, yo, this is honestly sick. And I feel like it probably just wasn't as well received because country wasn't that where it is now at that time,
Right.
where I'm also surprised we don't get more country artists doing the halftime show, but I'm almost grateful because I'm not into it. So
Facts, yeah.
That is surprising, though.
it is surprising, right? You would think we would have got like one by now, like a big,
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. And then my last one, 1995, completely weird. But they did an Indiana Jones halftime show
I read that. I didn't listen
where
to it.
he steals the Lombardi Trophy, and it's absolutely hilarious and ridiculous. And if you've never seen it, I highly recommend you go and watch it because it's literally just like it's so bad it's good.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's so bad and stupid, but I thought it was hilarious and really cool. And they made the whole story like about the Lombardi Trophy and like, yeah, it's ridiculous. So I had to bring it up just because I thought it was funny.
I actually didn't watch that one. I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah, it's wild. You should. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Shout out to the Shakira one because they play like 5 seconds of Kashmir.
That one is also a really good
Yeah,
one,
dude.
underrated.
Yeah.
The J-Lo Shakira one, that one was really, really good too.
And she makes that crazy face. She's like,
Yeah, with the tongue out.
the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was fire though. I really did enjoy that one. I had no complaints.
That was awesome.
And I was
Because
skeptical
Kashmir, I
going
forgot
into
about
it.
that.
yeah.
I really
Yeah.
was. I was like, I don't know about this one. And then they killed it.
I mean, low key shout out to the Who, because I love the Who.
Yeah.
They're one of those bands that like I don't think about them all the time, but when they're on, I realize how much I like them.
Especially in
Yeah, man.
2010 when
Ringo
they
Starr's
played.
son played the drums.
He still plays with them, yeah. He's
Oh,
their,
does he
he's
really?
their drummer.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And then Pino plays
Pino
bass.
Palladino, yeah.
But I feel like we were
He's full-time too?
huge Who fans.
When we were younger,
when
we were
they were
big.
doing
We
that.
were big Who fans when we were younger.
Yeah, I just didn't find it to be the best performance.
It wasn't
you
the
know.
best at all. You like it really
Great band,
wasn't.
but when
Post Prime.
when you put it up in there with all the other performances, it's kind of lackluster. And that's how I felt about the Stones one too. Like they played literally only 3 songs, and one of them was new. It was like the Stones are great, but
Nobody
it's
wants
like
to hear that shit, man.
yeah, and it's like the performance was very lackluster. It was like, oh my god, it's the Stones, but like
Yeah.
the actual performance itself wasn't that great. So, that's how it goes.
One that I'll always remember, and one that I'll bring up another topic is Katy Perry with the
Yeah.
Sharks,
But yeah.
and they have those Sharks in Cleveland in a whole
Yep.
halftime exhibit
Yep.
in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I think is pretty cool. Which brought me to my next
Yeah.
topic, which I think is interesting. They had who was it? Weekend
Yeah, the Weekend.
with the
All
The
boxes,
the mirrors and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that was there. The
Yeah.
Sharks were there.
His performance was also really good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And that was
yeah.
like the COVID performance.
yeah, dude.
You know?
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
wild. But that whole exhibit is really cool, and there's a bunch of like things from different years, like different props and stuff like that. And I thought that was interesting when I saw that. And I did remember that Katy Perry performance because of like the whole beach theme with the sharks or whatever.
yeah.
And when I saw those sharks, I was just like chuckling to myself, like what? But yeah, just something interesting.
Huge meme.
You know? Yeah.
Most definitely.
Me.
It's a meme.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, that was our top 5 list episode for Super Bowls.
Yes, sir.
That has been Battle Supreme. Like and subscribe. Leave a rating review for in the podcast audio land. Subscribe to our YouTube and the YouTube land for this video.
Hit the subscribe button.
Fight for your legacy.
Let us know what you think about this list
Supreme.
or our list.
Follow your destiny
Peace out.
in the battle.